And the beat goes on. The Soul took the best road show to Tampa last Friday, and 14 lead changes and 162 points later, the Soul snatched win number 13 and all season long. This Soul team has walked the walk and talked the talk, and now it's time to walk the plank.
Walk the Plank is presented by Foods Galore, preferred food supplier for Chickies and Pete's since the start. Bargain Car, Truck and Van Rental in Brookhaven, Broomall, and Chadds Ford. Bradford White Water Heaters, the official water heater of the Philadelphia Soul. Geno's Steaks, the best cheesesteaks in Philadelphia since 1966. Susquehanna Bank, the preferred banking partner of the Philadelphia Soul. Valley Forge Casino Resort, located just 2 minutes from the King of Prussia Mall on North Gulf Road. And by Bud Light. Here we go.
I'm Brian Baldinger. I'm filling in for Lou Tilley tonight. Of course, we're at Chickie and Pete's, where we're here every single Monday night, sponsored by Food Galore. And our panel here is some familiar faces, guys that you've come to know over a great Soul season so far. General Manager Tom Goodhines is in the house here tonight. And, of course, the best coach, and in my mind, the best coach in the Arena League, Doug Plank, is here. So, Doug, Tom, welcome. Welcome to the show here this evening. Let's look back. Last Friday, went to Tampa. They got their quarterback back, Nick Hill. Obviously, he made a big difference. They had really, they really challenged you defensively for the first time, I thought, Doug, in quite a while.
Yeah, they sure did. They weren't the same team that we played at home. Nick Hill, what an accurate quarterback, and he really posed problems for us because he moved around very effectively inside the pocket. He was able to buy himself some time, allow receivers to get open downfield.
Right, it's a quarterback-driven league, and obviously they got their star back. He had been signed by Green Bay. Green Bay released him. He kind of joined the forces, and so, Tom, this is a game that put up all kinds of record points, 162 points in this game. You were busy charting some of this stuff and keeping track of the records, but it was one of those games where it really came down to the final play.
It's one of those games that you like as a fan, but maybe not so much as a front office or a coaching staff. It's a team that we're very familiar with. 83 points both times he played them this year. Yeah. And, Coach, the question I got for you on this is, offensively it seemed to be going fine, but defensively there was a little bit of a difference. Was there something, 27 points one week, 34 the next, and then 79? What happened this past week?
Our goal this week was to try to tire them out, Tom, try to have them go up and down the field as many times as possible and exhaust them. And it worked. They were tired at the end of the game. But no, it's as Brian said, this is a quarterback-driven league. Not that the NFL and college isn't, but the quarterback makes all the difference. And give credit to Nick Hill. This is not the same Tampa team that we saw. They put up a lot more points. He could read defenses. He was accurately throwing the football. Even though he's left-handed quarterback, he could scramble to his right-hand side and still maintain composure and accurately throw the football down the field. So he posed problems for us.
Back to Brian's point, Dan Rodabaugh had an outstanding game, personal highs for him in yards with 415, 11 touchdowns. Offensively, it seemed to be clicking, at least on those points.
It's funny that you score 83 points and you almost need every one of those points to win the game. So, but I'm going to take it as a defensive coach. I've given up a long time ago trying to get a shutout. Ain't going to happen.
We're a long ways from a shutout, but 13-3 right now, Doug. I mean, on top of the Eastern Conference, okay? The playoffs are in the horizon, but there's still 2 games to play. So just the fact that you took the lead with 14 seconds to go in the game, but you had to put the defense out there and defend to win that game. Do you think that helps prepare the team for what you might see in the playoffs?
I truly believe that the competition you have all season, it sets you up for the postseason. And I'm glad that our team was tested in this manner. If you haven't been through those situations and circumstances, when you eventually get there in the playoffs, you could be ill-prepared. I think that the more situations we can find over these next 2 weeks against playoff caliber teams is going to be good for the Soul.
And I think also, Doug, we talked about it off air with Brian, is you got a 21-man roster. It's not like you can rest a bunch of guys. It's going to be tough for you from here on out because guys got to play.
You know, I laugh when people say, "Oh, you're going to rest everybody. Everything's locked up. You got your division title."
Bring in that second roster.
It just doesn't happen. You might be able to sit one guy on the bench, but that's about it. And I like it that way.
I think that when you look at the upcoming game right here, Doug, you got Spokane coming in. This is a team that you really struggled with. You lost. The last loss you have, 6 wins since then. But this is a team that presents some problems. And obviously, since they did win that first game, it's a game that you have some revenge for.
Oh. Brian, you know, in a division, when you lose that first game, it is so much harder to beat the team a second time because they're just ready for you. You know, they want to get some revenge. That's where we're at right now. We want to play the Spokane Shock.
Yeah. Listen, when we come back here, okay, we've got a lot of show left here, guys. When we come back, we're going to be talking about the Spokane Shock, and we're also going to be bringing in maybe one of the best set of hands in the Arena League, Mr. Tiger Jones, who had a Tiger-like weekend in Tampa.
If you've been seriously injured in an auto accident, remember this name. If you're being pressured by the insurance company to take a settlement that isn't fair, remember this name. If you need someone to fight for you to get the money you deserve, remember this name, Lundy Law. Call 1-800-LUNDY-LAW. Winning millions for clients in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware for over 50 years.
We got this!
The Soul are breaking down walls, along with records, the best in the Arena League. Another title in sight this summer. Get your seats now. Next home game, July 8th. 888-789-SOUL. And online at PhiladelphiaSoul.com.
We got this!
You have 25 hours of things to do every day and just 24 hours to do them. Finding time to manage your money can be a chore. Susquehanna Bank offers a variety of checking options to help. Whether you're on the road, at home, or anywhere in between. And even though convenience is its own reward, it's just one of the many we offer. Susquehanna Bank, doing what counts for busy people like you. Member FDIC.
Scott, he's doing a great job for us, whether it be, you know, the steak meat, the lobster, everything is our own brand. It's a testimonial to Foods Galore.
Service is what's made our company. Loyalty, reliability, honesty. Your growth was one of the main reasons why I evolved in the business.
People look at Chicky and Pete's as a success story, but it's actually your success story. It works just like a marriage, because I still have my wife and I still have you.
Welcome back to Walk the Plank. I'm your host, Brian Baldinger, filling in for Lou Tilly. We're at Chicky and Pete's, where we're sponsored by Food Galore every single week here, and joined by the general manager of the Philadelphia Soul, Tom Goodhines, and maybe the best set of hands that the Arena League has ever seen, Mr. Tiger Jones. Tiger, welcome.
Good to be here.
Just put the hands up here, because these hands, 12 catches, 160-something yards, 6 touchdowns the other day. Great game. First of all, talk about the game, because it was a big win. It was a come-from-behind win, where you really had to take it down the last possession to go win the game.
It was a big win. I mean, the week before, watching film on these guys, a couple of DBs went down, so we didn't really know what to expect coming out. We came out, we got a lot of man-to-man coverage. So, you know, in this league, you got to take that as disrespect, you know. Yeah. So you want to take advantage of man-to-man. Defense has been playing lights out lately. Mm-hmm. And, you know, see, you kind of get used to 6, 7, 8 stops a game, but that's just not realistic. And, you know, they got 2 or 3 stops in key times, and we had to take advantage of it. That's what we did.
Brian, one of the things you'll notice, 133 catches, 2,010 yards, 47 touchdowns.
Well, receivers don't pay attention to stats. I know that.
No. They don't, but in the same, as you mentioned, those are all like top 3 or top 5 categories for you. Yep. But no other teams have like a Derrick Ross with 27 touchdowns. I mean, right. What is that? And you don't really pay attention to the numbers.
I mean, you go into the game and you know that as the team goals get set, your individual goals also come. So you like the stats. And, you know, I'm a receiver. I like scoring touchdowns, getting yards. I'm sure Ross likes his touches. And, you know, it's just a collective thing, and we work well together with this offense, and we're just doing it right now.
Another guy that you work well with, obviously, is the quarterback, Dan Radebaugh. You guys have familiarity. You played in Dallas last year, the same offensive coordinator, the same offense. Talk about the relationship that you have with Dan, because even in that final game-winning drive that you had, you caught the first pass before Donovan Morgan caught the winner, but the 40-yard pass right there to set you up.
The quarterback-receiver relationship is huge, you know. For us, we work hard every day after practice. We watch film together. We talk on the sidelines between plays just to communicate where, you know, in times like that, he knows where I'm going to be. I know where he's thinking. And on that play, you know, we had the curl route. He couldn't even really see me because I couldn't see him. All I saw was the ball coming. And, you know,
That's
I
all
made
you
the
get
catch.
sometimes.
Yeah, and I made the catch, got downfield. I had to remember that the clock was still kind of, you know, I had to get down. So, because in this league, you want the ball last.
Sure.
Got down, and we were able to make a play with Donovan at the end.
Probably the best route runner in the league. Great hands, which we've talked about. The fearlessness of the walls. I mean, the highlight reel alone, which we can show, is you just total fear, without fear of going after the ball. What is it in your mind to get the ball and not even care about what's going to hit you?
You got to make a play when the ball's in the air. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if it's third down. It's third down and fourth down. It's going to be a turnover if you don't catch it.
Right.
So it always feels better when you. It doesn't hurt as bad when you catch it. Yeah. So.
That's one
thing about that, though, Tiger, is in this league, I mean, you have 133 catches so far. There's 2 games left. You could break all kinds of team records. But one thing I'm impressed about in this league for wide receivers is as soon as you reach for the ball, you're getting hit.
Oh, yeah.
You're getting smacked. Either you're getting smacked or you're hitting the wall. There's contact on every single play. It's not like you catch a 5-yard out and step out of bounds. There is none of that.
You're going to hit something, whether it's the DB or the wall, so you might as well catch the ball.
Right.
And that's just the way it is. It's not a lot of room in this league. It's only 50 yards long, 30-something yards wide. You're going to get hit. Somebody around you every play.
The mindset of the players now, the 2 games left, 3 weeks. You got Spokane, the bye week, and then Utah, and those teams are battling for the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
What is the mindset of the players in the locker room?
We want to go out, and it's important to get momentum going into the playoffs. And we still feel like we got a little bit of getting better to do as a team, and that's what we're going to focus on this week with Spokane, and we got to avenge a loss. You know, they worked us pretty good up there last game, and it's going to be an important one for us.
And Baldy, no question why this guy is one of the MVP candidates of the entire league, on and off the field.
Well, you talk about that Spokane shock. I mean, you went out there 2 months ago, and you got handed, it was the worst loss of the year.
Yeah.
You only had 3 of them, but this was the worst loss. So that's got to be hanging in your mind. If you're looking for that carrot that's dangling in front of you to keep you hungry, keep you motivated, and make sure you don't rest on your laurels before the playoffs, this is the perfect team to come in.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Spokane they have a great team, great coaching staff, and it's tough to go up there and win. And, you know, we went up there, and it kind of snowballed on us a little bit. But, you know, they come in here now, and we're a different team, we feel like, than we were 2 months ago, and it should be a different game.
Tiger Jones, so welcome, man. Pleasure having you here. Good luck the rest of the season. Keep catching everything that you touch.
Yes, sir.
That's what receivers got to do.
Yes, sir.
Here we go. Coming up, we got the remaining schedule brought to you by Bud Light. They are good friends of ours here. 2 games remaining, sandwiched between a bye week. The Soul have their work cut out for them. They're getting ready for the playoffs. The Spokane Shock are next this weekend.
We got this!
The Soul are breaking down walls, along with records, the best in the Arena League. Another title in sight this summer. Get your seats now. Next home game, July 8th. 888-789-SOUL. And online at PhiladelphiaSoul.com.
We got this!
I do a lot of weird stuff to save money. Carpooling.
We clip coupons. Coupons. Coupons.
You gotta eat leftovers, man. You got to.
Susquehanna Bank knows you're always looking for ways to save money.
Well, I eat in a lot more than I used to.
I use this to get places.
I buy generic everything. We use those swirly light bulbs.
You work hard for your money, and Susquehanna can help you keep more of it with free checking. Open your account today. Susquehanna Bank, doing what counts. Member FDIC.
If you've been seriously injured in an auto accident, remember this name. if you're being pressured by the insurance company to take a settlement that isn't fair, remember this name. If you need someone to fight for you to get the money you deserve, remember this name. Lundy Law. Call 1-800-LUNDY-LAW. Winning millions for clients in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware for over 50 years.
That man, Jeff Hewley, puts the special in special teams. 4 kickoff returns for touchdowns this season so far, which has given this team a huge boost. And joining us on the Walk the Plank is the special teams coach of the Philadelphia Soul, Adriel Fenton. Adriel, thanks for joining us here.
Thanks for having me.
You got a big smile on your face. You're happy, right? Winning your 6th game in a row.
Yes,
Jeff gets himself a kickoff return for a touchdown last week, an important play.
Yes, sir.
Against Tampa, important in a very tight game.
Right.
But special teams sometimes decides these games.
It's a work in progress. That's why I smiled when you said that about 4 touchdowns. We've been trying to work on that, these past couple weeks to get that better as a unit, give Jeff more room to operate, and, we're having great success with it. 4 touchdowns, we're trying to get him to the top of the list.
Brian, we call him the special teams coach, but he does a little bit of everything for us. He helps out on the offense, helps coach up the DBs, a little line. But
airport runs, whatever
we need him to do, he's usually there, the guy to call and make it happen. But Adriel, about some of the special teams specifically.
Yes, sir.
The onside kicks, I knew early in the season that was of a concern.
Right.
The recovery part.
Right.
But now, it's been a process of
we're
getting to number
moving up
one,
the
but we're
list.
number one in that category. Walk us through what some of the differences have been.
What we try to do is start with the focus up front, try to really label out, what our responsibilities are and execute that. We had a great addition in Brandon Perkins, moving him back in our return game. Coach Dalzell and I talked about it. It was a great idea he had. And just trying to have a little bit more focus on attention to detail. If I miss my immediate block, picking somebody else up, giving Jeff a lot of room to work.
Perfect example of that was in the Jacksonville game.
Yes, sir.
Jeff's return there.
Yes, sir.
Right in the middle, the point of attack. It was Brandon who came up with that big hit.
Yeah, he's been a great help with us in our regular returns. And like you said, with onside kicks, he gives us that versatility. Teams try to go surprise. Perkins comes up. He makes a big difference up there. So we're working on it.
But of course, Adriel, in this league with a limited roster,
yes, sir.
Outside the quarterback, everybody plays special teams.
Yes, sir. We, make that point every week in the special teams meetings. If you haven't played this week, just wait. Your time's coming. Our backup quarterback, Adam DeMichael, makes a couple tackles every week, so he's out there as well.
And Tom mentioned the onside kicks. I mean, you can never be surprised in this league when it's an onside kick. I mean, you got to almost prepare for it every single kickoff.
Absolutely right. And the funny part about it is, a lot of people said it spread to the NFL with the onside kick in the Super Bowl. And what I try to tell the guys before I break every, kick return huddle is expect an onside kick. Let's go with that in mind, and then we'll play from there.
You got a great returner, Jeff Hewley. We mentioned him. He's got 4 kickoff returns for touchdown. But obviously, in the arena game, everybody that has come to see it or watch it on Comcast with Tom and Lou announcing the games you play the ball off the net.
Yeah,
and so you never know. I mean, there's so many different ways that that ball can bounce. Is there fundamentals to doing that you really got to preach to Jeff?
There's a little bit of that and a lot of God-given talent. With Jeff and I, we try to go out before every game, kind of test the nets out, see what's a little bit tighter, what's a little bit softer, and the rest is up to him. I mean, he does a great job catching it over the shoulder, reading and reacting. He had a great touchdown catch, Tom, a couple weeks ago over the shoulder. So it's the hand-eye coordination for him.
But sometimes, you talk about the coordination. Sometimes you take it off the net, you turn around. There's a guy you got to avoid an oncomer, covering the kick right away.
That's what makes Jeff a special player. Everybody knows what he does on offense. He's a big contributor on kickoff as well, but as a returner, he is one of the best in the league. He 9 times out of 10 will make at least one person, sometimes 2 people miss, and the end result is him usually at the other end of the end zone, giving up his praise to God after he scores a touchdown.
Listen, Adriel, thanks for joining us
here
on Walk the Plank.
Appreciate
all right,
it.
It's a pleasure.
Great
Keep that smile right now.
Yes, sir.
It's very infectious.
Yes, sir.
Keep the special and special teams.
I do my best.
Listen, coming up here, we're going to talk about the Spokane Shock. They're in town Sunday night at Wells Fargo. You can see it on Comcast, or you go to PhiladelphiaSoul.com. You can still go get your playoff tickets, of course. Tom, and Lou Tilley will be there bringing the action on Comcast. We look forward to seeing the Shock. Last time they saw them, they got beat handily out on the West Coast. It's time to seek a little revenge this time for Adriel and the group.
Yes, sir.
If you've been seriously injured in an auto accident, remember this name. If you're being pressured by the insurance company to take a settlement that isn't fair, remember this name. If you need someone to fight for you to get the money you deserve, remember this name. Lundy Law. Call 1-800-LUNDY-LAW. Winning millions for clients in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware for over 50 years.
Scott, he's doing a great job for us, whether it be, the steak meat, the lobster, everything is our own brand. It's a testimonial to Foods Galore.
Service is what's made our company. Loyalty, reliability, honesty. Your growth was one of the main reasons why I evolved in the business.
People look at Chicky and Pete's as a success story, but it's actually your success story. It works just like a marriage, because I still have my wife and I still have you.
So, Mr. Jaworski, we wanted to show you the new packaging for Goldenberg's Peanut Chews. Of course, it still has the same original chewy, chocolatey, peanutty taste. Would you like to try one?
Sure.
So?
Man, these are really good. What? Now that's chewing it old school.
The Soul are breaking down walls, along with records, the best in the Arena League. Another title in sight this summer. Get your seats now. Next home game, July 8th. 888-789-SOUL. And online at PhiladelphiaSoul.com.
We got this!
The injury report is brought to you by 1-800-LUNDY-LAW. For this Sunday's game against the Spokane Shock, out this week is going to be Zip Duncan, Keon Perry, and Jerome Hayes, but questionable, still a chance to play, is going to be Christian Johnson, Emery Salmons, and middle linebacker Brandon Perkins. Injury report is brought to you by 1-800-LUNDY-LAW. Injury and disability lawyers serving Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. Lundy Law is the official law firm of the Soul. So, Coach, the Spokane Shock, Sunday night. This is a makeup game. I mean, your worst loss of the year was out there on the West Coast against Spokane.
They're a tough team. They play in the toughest division in arena football. Arizona, San Jose, Utah, you couldn't ask for tougher teams. So even though their record isn't what they would like it to be, this is by no means some easy pushover team. They got great fans, they got a great organization, so it's going to be really a challenge.
Are there any adjustments, Coach, from what have you gained from that game last time? I know some of them, and maybe after that game you wanted to throw all the footage out. Are there pieces from that game that you can pull and take with you for this game?
Our trip out, and this is just, I'm just talking about facts. From when we arrived at the Philadelphia airport and we arrived at Spokane, it was 13 hours later. The next day, we play the game at 8 p.m. Pacific Coast time, which is 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So when I saw 4 or 5 guys yawning as we were heading out in the field, I knew we were in trouble. But we didn't play very well. We turned the ball over. We had opportunities on defense. So with all that being said, Spokane's a very good football team. It's going to be a challenge.
Doug, one thing I wanted to ask you about as you put this team together earlier this year, and one thing I see different in your team versus most of the other teams in the league is you've gone for an undersized defensive line. Guys that can move rather than, the bigger objects, the bigger cows. You've gone for the guys that are quicker, faster, and I think it's played to your advantage.
We didn't start out this way. I mean, we've literally been changing this team as we've gone through the season, and the defensive pass rush really has been part of that change. But I think everyone has an initial surge, Brian, as you know. But what do you do after that? After the offensive and defensive players collide with each other, then what is your game? Can you get off that block? We talk about you can never walk off a block, which means you got to fight to get off. And that's what we think our defensive line has done a good job of doing the last couple of weeks.
A couple of those guys on that line, Justin Warren, who's done a great job, and you always talk about the motor that he has. Brandon Perkins, who hurt his ankle slightly this past week. TJ Langley with some of his outstanding blocks on the cutback on the interception. The thing I think you've been most happy about has been the effort from these guys.
Yeah, if you don't have effort, you don't really have anything. I mean, you can have all the great technique and stuff, but you got to bring it literally. You know, you're a cheerleader. As a head coach, you are a cheerleader. You are encouraging those players from the first play through the last play. And fortunately, we've had some players respond.
And one of the things, Brian, that we didn't even mention about is the Defensive Player of the Year candidate, and Brian Robinson, 9 sacks, a league record 7 block kicks. And that's kind of the epitome. You kind of get lost a little bit from the big guys up front making plays.
Yeah, he's one guy you don't have to encourage. He shows up every day. And but no, I love being around this group of players. They've shown great heart, determination, and I think our best is yet to come. We're still trying to get better each week, and we're certainly not taking any opponent for granted. We realize, you know, Spokane was a champion just a few years ago, so they're going to come out. They're going to bring their best game because they're fighting for playoffs.
Doug, thanks for
Okay,
joining
Brian.
us here, man. Get ready for those last 2 games here. The last game here this Sunday at the Wells Fargo Center against the Spokane Shock, a team that had beaten them just 7 weeks ago. Look for them on Sunday night. You can find it right on Comcast. Tom Goodhines, Lou Tilley calling the action. That's going to be a fun one to tune into. Or go to PhiladelphiaSoul.com. You can get tickets for that. And for you Facebook users out there, hey, like the Soul on Facebook, be entered to win 2 free round-trip tickets to New Orleans for 4 days and 3 nights for Arena Bowl 25, courtesy of Sundance Vacations. Go to Facebook.com/Soul right now. And on Saturday, July 7th, join the Soul before their next home game as the Soul take over the Elmwood Park Zoo in Norristown, Pennsylvania with the Susquehanna Banktown Takeover. Come watch the Soul practice and get autographs, food, drinks, soulmates, and more. That's Saturday, July 7th, and that will wrap up another edition of Walk the Plank. Thank you guys for joining us. Look forward to seeing the Soul this Sunday night against the Spokane Shock.
Walk the Plank is presented by Valley Forge Casino Resort, located just 2 minutes from the King of Prussia Mall on North Gulf Road. And by Bud Light. Here we go.